Sailors are those folks who venture into the water almost every week. With such frequency, they couldn't help but study the place where they constantly sail, getting acquainted with underwater inhabitants, noticing anomalies, and all in that spirit. Nevertheless, even they sometimes come across things that are impossible to explain. This is Topfacts BLACK channel, and in this episode, you will be treated to the most incredible moments captured by fishermen and sailors. As many know, the goblin shark, which inhabits depths of over 1,300 meters, possesses an impressive and horrifying protrusible jaw. Imagine a scenario where a group of fishermen in Key West, Florida, caught one of these extremely rare specimens. The shark was already dead when pulled from the water, prompting speculation about possible illness or injury. However, a researcher, intrigued by the shark's unusual head shape and strange snout, continued to study it while holding it. The goblin shark is the only living species in the Mitsucarinidae family, and they use their protrusible jaws to catch prey and intimidate humans, such as myself. This remarkable episode occurred several years ago in Russia, when fishermen pulled their huge fishing net and accidentally caught a stellar sea lion. Enraged, the sea lion attacked a fisherman upon its release, pushing one of the men with a powerful bite and even attacking a dog. This is not an isolated incident. Another group of Russian fishermen once encountered a similar situation. They unloaded a sea lion that climbed onto their fish pile just moments before one of the fishermen attempted to help. To deter the beast, the fishermen started splashing it with water in a frantic attempt to defend themselves. You don't realize true horror until you're chased by a huge hippopotamus. Despite their massive size, hippos possess astonishing underwater speed, and their strength is so immense that they can capsize a boat, as happened to these foreign fishermen and tourists in Tanzania. These people were incredibly lucky that the hippo didn't decide to pursue them. If the hippo had to fight for survival, the outcome could have been extremely grim, as hippos are extremely territorial. They perceive anything within a few meters of them as a potential threat, and are ready to crush this threat with their astonishing strength. How do you react when a mysterious creature washes up on the shore and dies? A massive body was washed up on the shore in the Maluku province of Thailand, frightening local fishermen with its hairy body and exposed vertebrae. This creature was much larger than any they had encountered before, but this is not the first case of such a carcass being found. Similar huge carcasses have been discovered in France, the Bermuda Islands, New Zealand, and even in Pakistan. The most recent case occurred in 2023. The question arises, what is this monster? A fearsome kraken or leviathan? But there's no need to panic. It's not some mythical beast. In fact, it's a whale carcass. The important question is, what causes the death of these whales and how safe are we from such events? The ocean, teeming with a variety of mysterious creatures, sometimes astounds us with its inhabitants. Some seem strange, others graceful, but the lancelet fish may be considered the most unusual symbiosis of these two types. Living in the depths, the lancelet fish is rarely encountered near the shore, but this time a fisherman accidentally managed to catch one. This fish, elegant at first glance, is actually slippery, strange, and very elongated. Its shiny silver skin and smooth tail contrast with its surprisingly grotesque appearance. The distinctive feature of the lancelet fish is a row of vertical scales anchored on its back. These scales are much larger than the fish itself, and amazingly resemble the popular hairstyle of Johnny Bravo. It makes one wonder who creatively styled this fish. Many people spend huge sums on fishing gear but can't catch anything, while this person truly makes them a laughingstock. Fish are collected using bait in early spring and continue until the dry season with its intense heat depletes water resources and possibly dries up a small stream. He then begins to dig up the earth where the bait was laid for a seasonal mass catch. When the mud dries, it naturally catches hundreds of fish waiting for their moment. Ultimately, such a catch is only possible with the appropriate experience and knowledge. The episode with the giant shark flipping the boat is simultaneously the most amusing and alarming event of all recorded cases because it demonstrates an unusual encounter between a predator and a fisherman. This brave fisherman attempted to catch a huge shark when suddenly the powerful creature capsized his boat, throwing him into the sea. Fortunately, he managed to swim to his kayak and suffered no injuries. But the story doesn't end there because he climbed back onto his overturned boat and continued his fishing mission, successfully catching the giant shark. While for most fishermen, catching herring may be considered a bad sign, this group was likely very pleased with their success. The team captured these shots in January 2023 when they pulled 2 live fish from their nets. They placed their nets off the shores of Toyama Prefecture in central Japan and managed to catch various types of fish, including squid and 2 other fish, all of which remained alive. At the same time, some local residents believe that observing herring usually serves as a harbinger of impending disaster. It's always nerve-wracking to encounter a rare species that is under threat of extinction, especially when that creature is as remarkable as the sawfish. 2 fishermen from Florida, who were recently trying to catch snook along the Indian River, experienced this firsthand. They were amazed by the sight of a rare sawfish swimming alongside them. However, their amazement turned to concern when they noticed that this 3-meter creature had a rope tied to its 5-foot saw, mercilessly constricting its mouth and nose. They attempted to free the fish, but ultimately they were forced to retreat as calming the powerful fish proved to be very difficult. A team of fishermen gathered together with the aim of rescuing a dolphin that had become stranded. Presumably, the mammal had become disoriented during migration and ended up beached in shallow waters. The dehydrated and disoriented animal was in desperate need of help to survive. Luckily, it was spotted by fishermen who immediately began a rescue operation. Moving a 50 kg dolphin onto a small boat required the assistance of dozens of people. They managed to keep it hydrated throughout the journey, which took over 45 minutes. In the end, the dolphin was successfully released back into the deep waters. Every fisherman dreams of an easy catch, but not everyone is willing to sacrifice it for the sake of preserving nature. Stumbling upon an abandoned net full of various marine creatures, a diver exploring the seabed under the dock at Belcara Beach decided to share this catch with the surrounding world. The net was full of various crustaceans caught in it. Instead of taking the entire catch for themselves, the diver decided to release them all, pointing out that these creatures were doomed to die if he did not release them. With care, he tore the net into pieces, carefully extracted crabs and starfish, and set them free. He noted that this net likely belonged to an old fisherman and emphasized that it could have been one of the easiest catches. Whether it was a stroke of luck or someone took the old saying "go all out or go home" too literally, a group of fishermen from the Chandrawasih Bay on the coast of Indonesia encountered an incredible catch during their regular fishing trip. They claimed to have caught 4 adult whale sharks in their massive fishing nets at once. A rescue team was called, which plunged into the water and managed to slowly cut the nets and free the whale sharks. The first 2 were successfully released, while the other 2 were more heavily entangled in the net knots and required additional assistance for their release. A massive manta ray, caught in a fishing net and washed ashore, serves as a stark reminder of the destructive power of abandoned nets. This gigantic marine inhabitant was discovered off the shores of South Africa, entangled in a fishing net. While many onlookers simply took photographs and watched, there were those who decided to take active part in the rescue. Several noble strangers decided to intervene and began the process of freeing the ray from the net to help it return to its natural marine home. A remarkable find captured on the beach of Alabama became an embodiment of encountering the unpredictable. One of the fishermen, engaged in catching stingrays, discovered a huge hammerhead shark in shallow waters. The initial fear of the predator turned into amazement when it was revealed that the shark was already dead. The greatest shock came later when biologists began to analyze the body of this 4-meter creature. Inside the shark, they found 40 embryos, each of which was in good developmental condition. Unfortunately, none of them survived. The fate of the mother shark remains a mystery to this day. Who would have thought that fish could have their own kind of makeup? But that's exactly what sets the red-lipped batfish apart. This unique marine creature prefers to inhabit the sandy bottom of the Pacific Ocean, and its lips could rival Snow White's in color saturation. Fishermen in Thailand couldn't hide their surprise when they unexpectedly caught a giant red-lipped batfish. But the reason for their amazement wasn't the fish's unusual pinkish coloration. It was the fact that it had 4 legs. Yes, this lipstick of the underwater world has 4 legs for mobility, although it is primarily aquatic. Thus, the red-lipped batfish itself confirms the theory of evolution. And that concludes our video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Also, check out our other videos.